Ladies and gentlemen, did not plan to make this video, but I saw this Reddit thread and I said, I'm making a video. So, we're gonna read some of these and then we're gonna discuss my opinion, my wishes for the new DLC, for the new Civs, and for the old Civs. Let's get into it. I'll quickly read through them and then I'll kind of give my opinion right after that. What are your specific wishes for the upcoming DLC? Assuming every Civ will get something new, I know it's unlikely, but one can dream. What would you wish for? As a JD enjoyer, a JD rework, the Civ is too similar to French. I would love an Abbasid Ayyubids system, so probably an infantry-focused JD Civ. Okay, so I can tell you guys that I have, long time ago, suggested this to devs. I agree with this. I have suggested this to devs long time ago, that instead of JD aging up with School of Cavalry, they age up with School of Infantry. And they can make Spearmen, and they can make like either another unique unit or just Spearmen is fine. So basically, they would open up with, you know, School of Infantry, and then they can make a stable and make Knights or whatever. But I think the Civ is, I do agree the Civ is too similar to French. I think JD is like the only variant Civ that I feel like is way too close to the original Civ. Yeah, and the funny thing is JD, if he reaches mid to late game, is kind of played like an infantry Civ already, so I feel like it just makes sense, to be fair. Or maybe she could like summon Knights, but she can produce the melee champions in the barracks in feudal, but they're a bit weaker than, you know, than the ones in castle, something like that. I think that would be a good change for JD, to be fair. Like, just make her an infantry version of French that's like heavily focuses on that. Or maybe like, maybe even like the men-at-arms that JD has should have like, I don't know, extra 2 damage done or something. I don't know. Just that would already pull JD enough to where she's not close to French at all. Better Mongol units. I'll just react to the comments and I'll give my opinion on the Civs. To be fair, I don't know if Mongol needs better units. I think Mongol units are fine. I think Mongol units are unique. Mongol units are really fun to use. The problem with Mongol is like different, where they just need a little something. And that little something, I would probably have like, I don't know, like make it so that like Mongol first villager creates faster. You know what, like, I don't know, something, because from the get-go, they're behind, and then it feels like you gotta get a lot of value with your units, but your units are very weak, but they're mobile. So it just doesn't make sense. Do you know what I mean? So I think Mongol needs a little bit of help at the start of the game, like at the starting eco. And then afterwards, I would still like to see, and again, this is a thing I suggested to devs a long time ago, wooden keeps for Mongol. Or more unique upgrades for their towers. So, because they don't have walls, and that is a massive disadvantage in the late game. So I would like to see either Mongol wooden keeps, where they cost like 1,000 wood, for example, and they're easier to kill, just like their towers. Or have like, you know how you upgrade veterancy for your units? Imagine if Mongol had that for towers, where the first tower, when you upgrade it, it's arrow slits. When you reach castle, you can upgrade it from arrow slits to springles, right? And it gains like a little bit more health, or maybe it gives you something else, and then Imperial Towers give you something else as well. So it's like you're upgrading veterancy on towers, because yeah, like I said, no walls make it very hard to defend anything as Mongol, and their towers are just too weak. Until you get like full upgrades, but that's like so late in the game, you're already probably lost by then. So I would like to see that, like a little bit more stability for Mongol. Not necessarily better units or just, you know, just a little bit more stable so you can actually defend stuff. Release more unique units and mechanics for each Civ. I think, would it be great if every Civ had like, would it be great if every Civ had everything unique, like from archers to spearmen to men-at-arms? Yeah, but also then too many Civs have too many different things, and then people, especially new players, will struggle learning all that. You know, so while I think the idea is cool, it's probably unrealistic, to be fair. And mechanics for each Civ, I feel like every Civ has already unique mechanics. What Civ does not have a unique mechanic? Unless we're talking like absolutely crazy unique mechanics where it's like Malian pits and Ottoman military schools, but I feel like English mechanics are unique. Their farms are cheaper, they got unique longbows, right? French, they got knights straight away that they can easily produce. You know, like I feel like French knight healing, yeah, I mean that's also unique. Like Mongol have towers that give them movement speed, right? So I feel like all the civs have unique mechanics, but at the same time you can't have like crazy, insane everything different, because we are 16 civilizations right now and we're about to get, you know, X amount more, and then next year or week or year later, sorry, we might get some more as well. So I don't know, I feel like you can't make them too different. You gotta keep some similarities. As an HRE enjoyer, I wish for Burgrave Rework. At the moment it's an all-in landmark, which is okay but kind of lame. I actually agree with that. I do agree with that. I don't like landmarks that are like, it's good for about 2 minutes. You know what I mean? I kind of like what they did with Farimba. Farimba also used to be an all-in landmark, by the way. Which is like, you can make a lot more units, but as the time progresses, it's actually not that good. And they changed it to what Farimba is now, and I think Farimba now is a lot better. So yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Do you think Farimba now is stronger, just better? I would say it's different. Like, Farimba on its release was bad, then they buffed it and it was broken as hell. I don't know if you guys remember. Like, Malian was able to produce so many units with Farimba, and then it got changed again to where it was nerfed, but then it became kind of all-in strat, so... Yeah, I wouldn't mind a Burgrave rework for HRE, because I do like OotD Burgrave idea more, where it's like, your units are cheaper and produce a bit faster, but the whole point is like, you can now make land shits a lot more efficient, a lot more cheaper. So it kind of changes up the playstyle. So for those that don't know, if you go Burgrave with OotD instead of Cathedral, yes, you're getting less gold, but at the same time, you're also paying less gold for land shits, so it's not that big of a loss. It's not like, oh, this gives you a bunch of gold and this gives you faster units like Burgrave for HRE. Let it produce all units with a reduced speed of 200%. Or give it a new unique unit. I mean, they could give it a unique unit as well, but... I mean, I guess HRE doesn't have a lot of unique units. They have unique men-at-arms, right? Wait, are they the only civ that don't have anything unique? I guess their men-at-arms are kind of unique. But not really, but kind of. Give Minework the ability to make a fourth set of upgrades Imperial. I think you can change Minework in a lot of different ways for HRE, where it's like... it does something else. Because, yeah, right now it's just an all-in. Oh yeah, land shits, right. True. Also, give Elzbach something new, please. Nobody builds it. Nobody builds Elzbach because Swabia is too good. That's the problem. I actually think that if Swabia was the same cost as every Imperial landmark, like 2.4k, 1.2k, I think potentially you might see HRE 2TC builds into Elzbach. Because Elzbach is like... people don't think it's that good, but Elzbach is actually broken as hell. You cannot kill it if it has a relic inside. Like, the emergency repair is always going to be up by the time it gets lowish, and it just doesn't die. So Elzbach is actually very, very... I'm not going to say... I mean, it is broken in terms of because of emergency repair. It is extremely strong, but Swabia is just better. That's the problem. So people are always going to go Swabia. That's just the case. Like, if there was another Imperial landmark instead of Swabia for HRE, people would go Elzbach a lot more. So what I would like to see for HRE, I would like to see... I would not mind to see Burgrave rework. I kind of wish that you can make Inspired Warriors somehow more usable. Like, I think Inspired Warriors are... It's like an okay upgrade, but it's very expensive. Your prelates die really fast. So I wish they can lean in a little bit more into that whole, like, relic, religious civ and stuff like that. Alright, let's go next. Ayyubid enjoyer. I love any of the following. Bedouins from Barracks Ranges. Bazaar Mastersmith rework. Oof, Ayyubid, dude, Ayyubid, you can change a lot of things. And I don't mean just change, like just straight up buff a lot of things. Culture Wing, I think, has its place. I would not really touch Culture Wing. I think like this, you can create some cool stuff with it. Culture Wing, it has its place, and I like the AoE healing it gives. I think it's unique enough, and yeah. Eco Wing, same thing. Now we're entering the area where it just sucks. This sucks, and this sucks. There's no point in the, like, some upgrades are better at certain points than others. Like, for example, Economic Wing in Imperial is not good, and nobody goes for it because, yes, your villagers work 10% faster, but you would rather get more villagers here, right? So this is, like, not really good. These three, I feel like they all have their place. This is not, you're never going to go logistics into Imperial. So these two are kind of dead, but all three of these are dead. My suggestion, again, the reason I'm saying my suggestion is because I already suggested this to devs, I think, a long time ago. Industry Wing should give them 10% wood gathering rate. Like, Ottoman has a vizier point that you just get for free, and you mine, like, what is it, 10 or 15% gold and stone faster. Why can't an Asia from Ayyubid give 10% wood gathering? Like, to me, it does make sense. You can make this 15%, you can make this 20% faster gathering. You know, still give wood, just juice it up with something else. And then if you go this and you get 10% wood gathering, well then, it's like, do you want 3 more villagers or do you want wood gathering for the rest of the game? You know, that's an interesting choice. If you're going to go super archer heavy or siege heavy, you go for industry. If you're playing on like King of the Hill where you want a lot of wood for mangonels, you go for this. So yeah, Trade Wing Bazaar, I'm gonna be honest, this will never be balanced, ever, because it's just, you're just gambling what you're gonna get. I don't know how else to put it. You're just gambling. The only way to reduce this, like the RNG, like the whole point is RNG, but the whole way of maybe reducing the RNG is if you could get 2 tickets for resources and 2 tickets for units, and then you can choose what you want to spend them on. So like you get 2 tickets for resources, so you can either buy food, wood, or stone, right? But then it's not a Gamba Wing anymore. That is just, it's just a Trade Wing Bazaar. And then the unit part is probably going to be really good because you always get units. So good luck fixing this is all I can say. Trade Wing Atabeg. This is a cool idea, but it has a lot of problems with it. I don't even know how to begin fixing this, by the way. You get increased health produced from, you know, your buildings for the units, but it's like you can only have 5. If you edge up here, it's like 3, 5, 7. And that sounds like a lot, but then if you get to Imperial, you have like 40 production buildings. So yeah. Another problem is, that would make it a lot better, is you cannot ungarrison them, which I don't know why. Like, we have this tech with Delhi for scholars. You know, like, why can't we... If you could open with Atabeg and Feudal, put them in stables, make units, and then you switch to Men-at-Arms later, and you just pop them out and put them in barracks, that'd be a lot better already. But you can't. What you need to do is destroy a building and remake them for food and gold, which is crazy. Military Wing, I think, is fine, and then this wing also sucks. My suggestion for this was that if you research Military Wing Mastersmiths, it should potentially give you like an extra upgrade you can research here, right? So for example, if you research Military Wing Mastersmiths, you have 1 extra blacksmith upgrade you can research immediately. Or not immediately, but you can buy. So for example, you age up with this in Feudal, and then you can pay, you can pick 1 more upgrade you can get from Castle, but you have to manually research it, right? So imagine you could research +2 weapon damage for range. That's it. That's the only thing it gives you. And it gives you the free upgrades like it does now. In here, it would give you like 2 extra upgrades for Imperial. And then in Imperial, it could unlock an extra upgrade. Like a level 4 upgrade or something like that. I think that would be great, and that would maybe make it more viable and maybe make it better. So, yeah, Ayyubid can do a lot of changes. Other than that, for Ayyubid, I don't know how much I would personally change other than that. Like, I would like to see more options with the wings. So there's a lot of things they can change and they can buff and stuff like that. But I think Ayyubid as a civ itself, I think it's like unique enough, you know? I don't think they need some like crazy changes. They got decent amount of unique units. Like, Mongols are unique. The Tower of the Sultan. They're Camel Lancers, Desert Raiders. So I don't think they need more of that, personally. Also, please, devs, make this exists. By the way, this is why it tilts me. Why do we not have Abbasid and Ayyubids Camel Traders? This exists in campaign. Hello? Why is this not in the game? Why do Abbasid and Ayyubid have fucking normal traders? Why don't they have camel traders? Just for the looks. I don't get it. It's in the game. It exists. Desert Raiders not being terrible would be nice too. Desert Raiders are really strong. My only hope is for a real Crusader faction. I mean, I think people were hoping that the variant of HRE would be that, right? I would like to see landmarks with bad randomness designed to be fixed, so Kaghanate Palace, the Ayyubid Observing, and to a lesser extent the Palatine School. I mean, the thing is, so I saw people say like you should change Kaghanate Palace so like you can choose which units you make, but then you're just gonna choose an SFBs, right? Or like maybe Knights or something. As a Malian enjoyer, buff to Javelin Thrower damage so I can protect my trade routes with 10 million outposts. Oh, Tower Javelin damage. I think Malian is super unique Civ, to be honest. I don't know if they need something. Like, you can always change like the balance or like the design of the Civ a bit, but I don't know if they need more new units or something like that. Like, I feel like, yeah, they're like probably the most unique Civ in the game, so I don't know if they need something else necessarily. So yeah, I don't know. Ottoman Empire. Now, they did try to juice up the Ottoman with the ranged archer thing. It is not working out. I have tried it in Imperial. I have tried rushing it in Feudal. It's just weird. It does not fit. We need something else there. Something. I don't know. My wishes for Ottoman in the next patch would be same as before, actually. And it's a bit of a balance change. I wish that military schools were free, but just nerf them. Like, it is so hard to find time to make military schools at the proper time at the top level. I just wish they would make them free. Make them even longer to create. Like, if the build time is 30 seconds, make it 1 minute and 30 seconds. And if the units make in 1 minute, make them produce units in 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes. But at least you don't have to gather you have to gather too many resources with Ottoman and balance out too many things, and it's so hard to find a time where you would do it. And in return, since that, in my opinion, would be a buff, maybe they can like tone down Janissaries a little bit or something. I don't know. Even if you have to research for them to produce faster to the original state, I wouldn't mind that. It's just annoying to make them, basically. Byzantine can introduce more units, upgrade their ability to focus on the usage of Greek fire. What if we have Byzantine flamethrowers and grenadiers? What if instead of Mongol emplacement, we have Greek fire emplacement? I mean, I personally don't care about this, but they could do it, I guess. You can make it so that, like, instead of them having a Mangonel tower or Springle tower, they can have a Greek fire tower that has, like, very low range, but it's, like, flame throws around or something. Like boiling oil for towers kind of thing, but maybe a bit better. I'm not sure. Since we're going down the line, let's go with the existing civs that I have not mentioned, and then we're going to talk about my wishes for the new civs. So, I personally think that Byzantine is fine as it is. Like, I'm talking about design and gameplay wise. I think they're fun to use. I wish there was a way to incorporate and use the neutral market mercenaries a bit better. I feel like it's kind of wonky the way, like, you gotta build a mercenary house there and stuff, and then produces slow because you don't have cisterns there. So maybe something with that. I'm not quite sure how, but maybe something with that would be cool. Japanese, I think the way that Japanese works is really cool, but I think the meta kind of screws it a little bit. Like, I think the only way to play Japanese is like fast castle mounted samurai, and that's also because mounted samurais are really good. But I think their whole play style is like all the units are very fast. Like, you have Onamushas, which are ranged crossbows, they're mounted. You have mounted samurai, which are fast. You have the bannerman mounted, it's fast. You have on a Bugattis, which are also super fast. You have Shinobis that are mobile. But I feel like, I don't know if there's like not enough time to kind of express what they have, or it's just a meta, but I feel like you don't really see a lot of those units come into play, even though they're very fast and very, very mobile. I mean, even their archers are very fast, right? So all their units are like super, super fast, which is kind of what I like, but I think they have a more of an issue of perhaps balance or just the state in the game that we're at right now. Abbasid and Ayyubid. Ayyubid I mentioned. What would I like to see for Abbasid? Honestly, maybe give it like a camel horseman or something like that. I think that'd be cool. Like not a knight, but like a camel horseman. You know what I mean? It's a camel, but it's a horseman type. Maybe it's a bit slower or something like that, but it deals like bonus 2 damage against fucking heavy or melee units or you know, something like that. I think that would be pretty cool. To just give them a little bit of that Civ thing. And also, Ayyubid and Abbasid, give them Camel Traders. Thank you very much. Yeah, maybe Culture Wing should like give them a unique unit or something, because Culture Wing is also underused, so it'd be pretty cool. China and Zhu Xi. What would I like to see for those two changed or added? I think they're very unique. Both of these civs I think are very, very unique, so I don't know how much I would change. French is like a base civ, which I think is more than fine. I think French is like what French is. I don't know if they should be adding stuff onto it. But JD, like I mentioned earlier, they should definitely make School of Infantry and not School of Cavalry as well. HRE and OotD. I think HRE, people have been asking for a unique unit for it for a very, very long time. And maybe that'd be a cool idea, but I kind of wish they pushed a little bit more, just a tiny bit more, the whole religious aspect, and have both of these civs actually use prelates more. Delhi is also like a religious civ, right? But it incorporates scholars a lot better. You need scholars for sacred site, you need scholars for relics, you need scholars for healing, you need scholars for upgrades, you need scholars for producing units. Maybe not to that extent with HRE and OotD, but maybe they can be like used more in battles or something. I don't know. Just a thought. Delhi, I personally wouldn't change much for Delhi. I think the Ghazi Raiders give them a lot of like their own personality. The fact that you can make walls, I think is pretty cool. I don't think I would change much. Now English. Now this is a controversial one because there's a lot of English players and a lot of English haters. This is what I would do. I would buff English economy in Feudal Age. I would nerf the farms in Imperial, and I would actually nerf longbow damage to match other archers. Because they already have higher range on longbows, why do they need to do more damage too? But this is the issue, and to me why it's not that fun to play English, is once your army dies, it's over. Because your army is very slow, it's very mobile, but it's very strong. And because your economy is so crap in Feudal Age, it feels like if you take a wrong fight, the game is over. So I would like to see their longbows be more in tune with like other civs, with how many archers you can make. Still give them an extra range, right? Because they're longbows. But make their damage normal, like every civ. But give them more economy so they can play around with that. And to compensate, I mean, you can buff them in different ways if needed, but I personally would like to see that, because whenever I play, English is like, out of all the civs, the economy feels the worst with, 100%. Like, it just feels so slow. So, like, everything is slow. Wood gathering is slow, upgrades are slow. Once you get your farms going, it's great, but until that point, it's a resident sleeper, in my opinion. Malian, like I said, unique enough. Mongol, give them better towers, give them like veterancy rank on towers, and give them a wooden fortress, please. Please! Ottoman, discussed that already. And then Rus, last but not least. What would I give Rus? Now, I don't mind that they removed the way that bounty worked, but I feel like that was a Rus thing, you know, like killing deer and wolves and getting bounty and all that. But I feel like they lost something there too. So, I mean, it says expansion cavalry hunting. Where's the hunting part? So maybe they could bring that back somehow. I've seen this in other games, but maybe make it so that their hunting cabins can produce wolves or something like that. They can produce like attack animals. Like, think of like mercenaries from like Age of Mythology Egyptians, or make them like be able to tame wolves or something. Like attack dogs. Like, I don't know, something, because I feel like they should be like about like forests and woodlines and animals, but it's just not anymore. So I think that would be pretty cool. This might be a boring one regarding what I want for the new Civs. So I kind of heard which new Civs they're gonna be. I don't know how true it is because I've heard this a while back. Do I want variant Civs or not? You guys know when variant Civs came out, I was not opposed to them because I always thought when they released 6 Civs, like 2 original and 4 variant, it was like, people are misunderstanding this, and I feel like people to this day still don't get it. It was never a question of, are they going to release 2 original Civs or 6 original Civs? Like 2 original Civs plus 4 variant or 6 original Civs. That was never the question. From my understanding, it was either we can release 2 Civs original, or we can release 2 Civs and 4 variant Civs, because we already have models, we already have stuff to work with, and then from then on they can kind of expand and work on them. And to me, that was like, I would rather take 6, right? I would rather take 4 variant and 2 original, but a lot of people did not feel that way, which I found funny, because I feel like if devs just released 2 Civs in the last expansion, no one would bat an eye. You know what I mean? No one would say anything, but people kind of lost their minds because of the variant Civs, when they're just like an extra thing that we got. So there was a lot of backlash. I don't know if a lot of you remember, but there was a lot of backlash. So I actually don't know this, but I wonder if devs are just gonna stop making variant Civs. I had this thought like a week or 2 ago, and I was like, what if they just don't do variant Civs anymore? Like, what if they're just like, okay, that was received terribly, let's just not, like, just do less Civs, and that's it. Just do like 1 or 2 Civs new, and that's it. Just leave it at that. Because I actually think that might be the case. Received terribly, but still most sold DLC. I mean, I don't think it's because of variant Civs, to be fair. I think it's because of Byzantine and Japanese. And let's also not forget, Malian and Ottoman did not have, it was not a DLC. It was just for free that we got, right? So it's not like we have a comparison point.
Games were lit yesterday.
I would agree with you if the Malian Ottoman like sold 20% and then this one sold like 50%. Would I mind variant Civs? No, I think it'd be great. Also, my like OCD about that would be Omega triggered, because if they just stop making variant Civs, then that means that we're just never gonna have variant Civs for other Civs, and that is scary. So I don't mind variant Civs. I think it'd be cool to continue, because I feel like devs probably learned quite a bit from the variant Civs and what makes a variant Civ different than the original Civ and how to do it. Like, I think Ayyubid Abbasid was done really well. I think OotD HRE was done really well in how differently they play. And I think they kind of failed a bit with Zhu Xi China and French JD, right? What would I want from the new Civs? Again, have in mind the stuff that I heard. I don't know anything about details about the Civs. I don't know any mechanics. I don't know if they're unique, they're not, whatever. I just wish, I said this in the Malian Ottoman expansion, I said this with Byzantine Japanese. I just hope the Civs are unique, and that's one thing that devs have been consistent on, which is the Civs are consistently unique, and I care about that the most. When Malian Ottoman was getting released, I was worried it's just gonna be like very similar, but then Malian was like completely unique, all new units. Ottoman, completely unique with the Vizier point, right? Vizier points and military schools, love that. Japanese, the way they work, love that. Completely unique. They got bannermen, they got ninjas. It was great. And then Byzantine, I mean, you know, you have mercenaries and stuff like that. So I am the most excited for what they're gonna cook up next and what kind of unique mechanics they can do. Because like the Malian one with the pit mines and stuff, I think is really cool. But I'm very excited to see what else unique they can bring. And that's my only wish. Like, regarding which civs they introduce, I'm personally not, like, I know some people have, like, certain civilizations they want in the game. I'm not too bothered, you know? Like, I'm not like, oh, if they don't release this, the game is ruined for me. I just want them to be, I want them to be fun to play. Because, as I've always said, if I want historic accuracy and whatever, just go read a book or go, I don't know, go watch a documentary. I want the games to be fun. I want the games to be entertaining. If they can keep the, you know, the historic accuracy or whatever, sure. I just want them to be unique. That's it. So I hope that's what they're gonna bring, and I'm pretty sure they will, because that seems that carried over from the Malian Ottoman into Byzantine Japanese. That is going to be it. Now going forward with more and more civs, like year after year, assuming they do another DLC next year or the one after, whatever, it's going to be very hard to balance the game. Because there's just going to be so many civilizations to take a look at and to organize and to match and all that. We'll see. Anyway, if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think. Also, I don't want to give any, like, predictions what the new civs are going to be, because, yeah, but you can let me know. You know what I mean? Twitch gamers, let's keep going.